Fox 29 News in HD, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast.
Tonight at 6, dangerous storms closing in on our region. The latest watches and warnings from the Weather Authority. But first,
it's with great sadness that I tell you that Garrett Reed, the oldest son of Coach Reed, was found dead this morning.
A shocking loss. A coach loses his firstborn son. And right now, our top story. A coach, a family, a team in mourning. Andy Reid's eldest son found dead inside a dorm room at Eagles training camp at Lehigh University. 29-year-old Garrett Reid, who has battled drug addiction and had run-ins with the law in the past, was at camp assisting his father and coaching staff. Fox 29's Omari Fleming has more now from Bethlehem.
I've watched Andy, try so hard with his family over the years.
In a rare moment of emotion, Eagles chairman and CEO Jeffrey Lurie and general manager Howie Roseman welled up while talking about the death of Coach Andy Reid's son, Garrett.
On a personal note, we've been with Andy for a long time. He's always been strong for us. We're going to be strong for him right now. As a father and a friend, we're all hurting.
Reid's 29-year-old son was found dead in his room at Lehigh University's Sayre Park dorms. Police blocked off the dorm after getting a 911 call around 7:20 Sunday morning to come to Garrett's room.
Attempts were made to revive the individual. They were unsuccessful. There were no suspicious activities.
Garrett had a history of drug problems. He even served prison time for a 2007 crash while driving under the influence. After leading the team in an on-field prayer, Lurie talked about Reid's strength despite his son's death.
Losing a son is unimaginable. Losing a child is unimaginable, the pain. Yet he is rock solid.
Reid's personal family troubles are part of the reason why the coach says he took a chance on quarterback Michael Vick after he went to prison on dogfighting charges. After practice where Vick threw the ball with a very heavy heart, he shared his love and support for the coach who gave him a second chance.
He's been a rock for us and a big teddy bear for us, so we're going to lead on him and we're going to be there for him and we're going to stay strong for him.
Our Fox 29 Omari Fleming reporting there. A number of Eagles players took to Twitter to offer their condolences to the coach and his family. Fox 29's Colleen Wolfe here live in the newsroom with what they're saying. Colleen.
Well, clearly some tough news for the team to take. Andy Reid's players spoke out today, giving their love and support.
This team really loves him, and when this thing happened, we were hurting with him, and he was there with me personally when my dad passed last year, first one to call me, and I just want to let him know that I love him and this team loves him.
It's a very tough time for us, but like they've been saying, we've been putting the Reid family in our prayers. Just like Coach has supported us, we continue to support him.
Condolences poured in from all across the sports world, even from athletes who are no longer in Philly. Former Flyer James Van Riemsdyk wrote, "Thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Reid and his family." And Shane Victorino just got traded last week, but he took a moment to lend his support. He tweeted, "My thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Reid and his family." Coming up, we'll have more from Lehigh. Tom Stredencheck talks to Marcus Hayes of the Daily News. Joyce.
All right, thank you, Colleen. And the news of Garrett Reid's death has led to an outpouring of support from Eagles fans all over. Fox 29, Chris O'Connell live now in South Philadelphia with that part of the story. Chris.
Yeah, Joyce, with the exception of a few cars, very quiet here at the Eagles NovaCare complex. Here in South Philadelphia tonight, the outpouring of support, the reaction from the shocking news of Garrett Reid's death shocking the Philadelphia sports community. It had appeared that Garrett Reid had rebounded from earlier drug problems that sent him to prison. Eagles fans hearing the news had the same reaction.
Bad for the family,
Just felt really bad for him and his family.
Garrett was a frequent guest with his dad on his radio show at Chicky and Pete's in South Philly, where Eagles fans were at a loss for words.
And when everybody loses a son, that's a tragic loss. I have 2 kids of my own, and that'd be heartbreaking for me. So my heart goes out to Andy Reid and his family.
Still no word how the 29-year-old died, but for anyone with children, it doesn't matter.
It's so sad because,
you can never, I don't know how you can go on, you know, after burying a child. I mean, I think it's terrible.
Now, Andy Reid will be away from the team at least for a few days, but we understand he will be back with the Eagles before their first preseason game on Thursday night at Lincoln Financial Field against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're live at the NovaCare Complex in South Philadelphia. Chris O'Connell, Fox 29 News.
Chris, thank you so much. And our Facebook page has been flooded with comments about Garrett Reid's passing. Terry wrote, quote, "So sad for the Reid family. As a parent, you should never have to bury a child." And Tracy said, "Such a sad tragedy. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Reid family." And then Sarah wrote, "This is awful. The worst pain in the universe is to be a grieving parent. Prayers for strength and peace in the up and coming month." And you can still leave your thoughts by going to our page, myfoxphilly.com, or Fox 29's Facebook page. We have more on the death of Garrett Reid at myfoxphilly.com. Just click on the story on our homepage. Now to our other big story of the night. Right now, Fox 29 Weather Authority following severe storms heading right our way. This is a live look right now at Philadelphia from Adventure Aquarium over in Camden, New Jersey. Heavy rain will start to fall right here later tonight. Meteorologist Caitlin Roth is here with what we can expect and when. Caitlin.
That's right, Joyce. Oh, an ominous view as we're looking from parts of Camden towards Center City. If you haven't seen the dark clouds roll in yet or the winds pick up, it will happen momentarily as we are tracking a line of severe thunderstorms extending all across the state of Pennsylvania back into the Baltimore, D.C. areas. It is moving eastward, and almost all of our area is under a severe thunderstorm warning from places like the Lehigh Valley back through Bucks County. You are under a warning until 6:30 p.m. as this line slices through your area. So very heavy rain up in the Easton Bethlehem area right now. That's also where we're seeing, as you can tell by that purple shading and those flashing white lines, the most lightning. Otherwise, it's just heavy rain cutting into central Bucks, as well as some damaging winds. We have had wind reports over 50 miles an hour in Berks County, so back behind the storm in Reading, where it's already passed. That line does extend eastward. If you're along the Delaware River or if you're in Doylestown, Warrington, Horsham, you guys are all next with this line of storms as it blows through. Further down into Montgomery County, places like King of Prussia, Conshohocken, you will see it slice through, and then Center City within the next 30 to 45 minutes. Now, the line kind of extending back to the southwest as you head down towards portions of eastern Maryland. That will cut into Wilmington, northern Delaware, and eventually into Salem and Cumberland counties in New Jersey within the next 30 minutes. Rain, lots of lightning on the southern flank of this system too, and the damaging wind reports that have come on by. And as we go to the maps, there is a severe thunderstorm watch across much of the area until 9 p.m. If you've already seen the storms past, mainly places like the Poconos back through Berks and Lancaster counties, it's just rain. Once the worst of it's gone by, the severe threat will diminish, but that is extended through 9 p.m. and it does include South Jersey and much of northern Delaware. So some real strong storms rumbling through, but that's because it was such a hot day. Temperatures in the mid-90s. Those severe thunderstorms will continue for the next couple of hours, and then we'll clear out with temperatures in the 70s. Joyce?
Thank you, Caitlin. And you can get weather updates anytime you want on your smartphone. Just download the Fox 29 app with live Doppler radar. Head to myfoxphilly.com and click on the mobile icon to learn more. Stores have reopened after a fire at the Gallery Mall in Center City. It started early this morning in the dollar store. Crews hosed down the place before anybody could get hurt. Right now, investigators are working to figure out what sparked that fire. So far, no damage estimate has been released. There are a lot of questions tonight about a shooting involving police officers in North Philadelphia. Happened early this morning on the 2400 block of North 5th Street. Police apparently shot a man. He's being treated at the hospital. We're working to learn more about the circumstances leading up to that shooting. And Philadelphia police are looking for the shooter who wounded a man overnight in North Philadelphia. Police say somebody opened fire here at 23rd and Diamond just before midnight. An 18-year-old man was shot in the chest. Two men drove him to Temple University Hospital, where he is now in extremely critical condition. Police need your help tonight to find a missing teenager from Camden. This is 15-year-old Jessenia Santiago. She was last seen leaving her home yesterday morning on Merrimack Street. If you have seen her, please give police a call. A man went on a deadly shooting rampage at a temple in Milwaukee. Next, what police think may have led to the gunfire that left 7 people, including the shooter, dead. Plus, groups take aim at America's biggest hotel chains. Why they want hotels to get the porno out of their guest rooms.
Get Fox 29 breaking news alerts anytime. Text 46373 or sign up at myfoxphilly.com.
At least 6 people were killed when a gunman opened fire at a religious temple in Wisconsin. The suspected shooter was later killed in a shootout with police. Fox's Anna Koyman has the very latest on this.
Several people killed ahead of a morning worship service at a Sikh temple in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Multiple distress calls to 911 put a veteran police officer head-to-head with the gunman.
An extremely accomplished tactical officer. When he arrived on the scene, he engaged an active shooter outside of the temple. Multiple rounds were exchanged. The officer was shot multiple times.
SWAT teams finding multiple crime scenes, victims shot outside of the temple, and several more killed inside.
The shooter was also shot. He is down on the scene and presumed deceased.
Temple members, part of Milwaukee's growing Sikh community, clutching cell phones, gathered in a parking lot waiting for word.
They are texting. We are getting some text messages.
It's totally agonizing, it's sad to hear, the people that those guys, deceased, It's kind of heartbreaking, It's like just heart sank down, This should never happen, nobody,
As multiple local agencies and the FBI continue to scour the building for clues, a SWAT team bringing uninjured people out of the temple. Women swathed in colorful silk clothing looking for more information. Some saying they can't imagine why their peaceful territory has fallen victim in this way.
All of them are our loved ones, so it's a small community, so we pray for all of them.
Milwaukee County Police and local authorities on alert, putting officers at other Sikh temples, and NYPD increasing security around New York's Sikh worship centers as well. Meanwhile, President Obama has been made aware of the shooting. In New York, Anna Koyman, Fox News.
Alleged Tucson shooter Jarrett Lee Loeffner is set to plead guilty to an Arizona judge on Tuesday. That judge will decide whether Loeffner is competent to accept the plea. He's suspected of opening fire on a gathering attended by former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords and her constituents. 6 people were killed. Giffords suffered a near-fatal shot in her head. A 66-year-old man is suspected of shooting his wife of 45 years inside an Ohio intensive care unit. Police say John Wise entered the hospital last night to visit his wife after she was admitted a few days earlier with a life-threatening condition. Then police say he shot her. She survived. He's been charged with attempted murder. No word yet on a motive. Oklahoma residents who were forced to leave their homes because of raging wildfires are being allowed to return tonight. Rain and cooler temperatures have been helping crews fight the fires there. So far, flames have burned almost 91 square miles, destroying several homes.
We got stuff that we got to maybe try to sift through and see if we can find anything that was left over, but there's not a whole lot for them to do.
What's next here? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm praying. I'm leaving it to God. He has everything in control.
Well, thankfully, no serious injuries have been reported. No word yet on what sparked that fire. We're now just hours away from a possible new milestone in our nation's history of space exploration. At about 1:30 tomorrow morning, NASA's most high-tech interplanetary rover is set to touch down on the surface of Mars. If all goes well, as planned, the Curiosity rover may show us if Mars actually contains the basic ingredients for life. President Obama is taking the Election Day battleground state of Ohio to court. The president's campaign is suing Ohio over new rules for early voting designed to benefit members of the military. President Obama says the extra hours should be available to all voters. GOP rival Mitt Romney says the president is targeting military members. Well, both President Obama and Republican challenger Mitt Romney have ideas for fixing our economy. Problem is, their approaches couldn't be farther apart. From creating jobs to extending tax cuts, both Romney and Obama have plans. But how realistic is it for either plan to first pass Congress and then fix our economy? Financial expert Elliot Miller is tackling both candidates' plans tonight for what they will do and how they will do it. Thanks for coming in tonight, Elliot.
Good to see you again, Joyce.
All right, well, first, July's jobs report. Camp Obama says, well, it's better than June's. More people are working, but Camp Romney says it's not nearly enough and he could do much better.
Well, they're both right. It was a very mixed report, 163,000 jobs created, which is much better than was projected and much better than the previous 3 months. However, it doesn't really start to get good till you hit about 200,000 a month jobs created. So they're both right. I'd give it a B-, C+, something like that.
Okay, so let's look at the tax plan that President Obama's camp is pushing out there. What do you see?
Well, you know, he's going to, his plan is to roll back the Bush tax cuts or let them expire for those earning $250,000 or more in adjusted gross income. He would also let dividend rates go up as well as capital gain rates. There are some pluses in this, in that it does address what he considers tax fairness, but there are some minuses too. He doesn't do much with the deficit in this plan, and it really just isn't enough given what he wants to do with the rest of the economy.
Well, let's talk about the Romney tax plan. What is that?
Yeah, you know, Governor Romney claims that he wants to cut tax rates across the board and also do away with some popular deductions. And he claims that if he does this, the economy will soar and we will start getting, in the next 4 years, we'll get 12 million new jobs created.
Will that work? How many is that a month?
That's 250,000 a month, which puts it on a par with Clinton, which is the record. Nobody knows, and really, the rates under Clinton went up, so we're not really sure that this is more than a just theory.
So what's wrong with this plan overall? Will it reduce the deficit?
It won't. Neither plan reduces the deficit, which is going to be a big problem if we don't get to it. It doesn't reduce the deficit, and an independent tax study group claims that, yes, taxes will drop for the upper income people, but they won't go down for the lower income. They'll actually be paid for by the lower income people.
So how do voters know how to support, and which one, if there are going to be benefits and flaws in both plans? I mean, it seems even if you vote for the one that impacts you the most, you still stand to lose something. It seems like a lose-lose.
You know, first of all, it seems that way because, again, all the advertising is negative. The other thing is, in our lifetime, I don't think we've seen a more different viewpoints in terms of the role of government. The Democrats and Obama believe that government is a force that can help. The Republicans, led by Governor Romney, believe that it's a hindrance. So that's part of what's going on here, and that's part of what the tax plans are all about. It's a very difficult situation, and, you know, there are pluses and minuses with both, but if we don't do something about the deficit anytime soon and neither addresses it, there's going to be a problem.
Oh, boy. Okay, Elliot Miller, we'll talk more about it. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you.
Thanks for having me again, Joyce. I appreciate it.
All righty. Thank you. An airline's promotion was trying to show some love to frequent flyers, but many passengers say they're not feeling the love. They're angry instead. We're going to tell you how a glitch messed up their travel plans big time. Plus, a new treatment to help people suffering from allergies, the procedure that patients say that they're breathing a lot easier about.
If you could know the weather weeks, even months from today, now you can. With Weather Trends 360 from your Weather Authority, exclusively on Fox 29. On air, online, on your phone.
Tonight, some prominent religious groups are calling on major hotel chains to get the adult content out of the bedroom. Fox's Lauren Green has details on this.
In a jointly authored letter, Christian and Muslim scholars are calling on Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, Choice, and Starwood hotels to ban adult entertainment in rooms as a commitment to human dignity and the common good.
Instead of trying to move people by protests and demonstrations and threats of boycotts, we'd make a simple appeal to the consciences of the corporate executives whose businesses have gotten into pornography.
It would show that people are willing to take a stand against something that is morally wrong, despite the effect that it might have on their profits, despite the effect that it might have on whether or not people would go to these hotels.
Steve Hirsch of Vivid Entertainment, one of the largest producers of pornography, says if people don't want to watch, they can tune out.
These groups, these sort of self-proclaimed morality police, they come in and they want to tell you what's best for you to watch, and it never, ever works.
We contacted all 5 hotels requesting interviews. In a statement, Hilton Hotel said, all adult content is only accessible to adult guests who request access and choose to view it. Hyatt said it takes steps to ensure that guests will not be inadvertently exposed to pornography. Choice hotels are independently owned and operated, and the entertainment options are left to owners. Starwood has yet to respond, but Marriott says it is working at removing on-demand adult content by switching over to an internet-based system. Guests can access porn that way, but the hotel will not be directly providing it. In New York, Lauren Green, Fox News.
Southwest Airlines' attempt to show some love to their Facebook friends backfired. Instead of getting tickets at half price, customers were charged multiple times for those discount tickets. The Southwest Airlines spokesperson says a computer glitch charged some customers up to 20 times for a single flight. The airline is working to fix that problem. And more on our top story tonight. The Eagles are mourning the passing of Garrett Reed. Next, we'll go back live to Eagles to the training camp there at Lehigh University for more reaction. What a tragedy this is for the Eagles. Caitlin.
All right, Joyce, plenty of storms across the eastern half of the country right now. Ultimate Doppler is lit up as a cold front pushes through the area, sparking these severe thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm warnings are now posted for the Philadelphia area. We'll have a complete update on this coming up after the break.
We continue our coverage tonight of the death of Coach Andy Reid's eldest son. Garrett Reid was found this morning inside his room at Eagles training camp at Lehigh University. Now, somebody made a 911 call just before 7:30. Police say he was dead by the time they got there. No official cause of death has been released. Police say they saw no evidence of any suspicious activities. Joining us now is Fox 29 Sports Director Tom Shredencheck. We have Tom, and he is live at Lehigh University. Good evening, Tom. It's a tough time for everybody associated with the Reids and the Eagles, right?
The entire family, Joyce, and Eagles fans today applauded this football team coming off. They know what a tough time this football team is going through. Chairman and CEO Jeffrey Lurie, among the few people to talk to Andy today, said the pain of losing a child is unimaginable, but he also said that Andy Reid is a rock-solid man who is, believe it or not, very excited still about this football team and what lies ahead. I'm joined by Philadelphia Daily News columnist Marcus Hayes. Marcus, Jeffrey did not commit to a specific date that Andy would be back with the team. They have a walkthrough here Wednesday and then a game Thursday night at home with Pittsburgh. Jeffrey did not rule out the possibility that Andy could coach that game Thursday night. Are you surprised?
Well, I'm not surprised necessarily that Andy kind of wants to get back in the saddle. I don't know that it's appropriate from our standpoint, but everybody grieves differently. My understanding is the services for Garrett will be Tuesday. I expect Andy certainly to be here on Wednesday for the walkthrough and on the sidelines Thursday night.
Marcus, it has been a rather dull camp from a football perspective. Everything has gone so well right now. The no excuses approach. As good as this team has been, can this be even more of a galvanizing force for this football team as they come together for Andy?
You know, I don't know that this will have an effect on the field or even in the locker room. This was a pretty close team coming into this camp. This is a team that was galvanized by failure on the field last year. I don't know that it needed this or needs anything to be further galvanized, though the effect that this has for Reid with some players and maybe in the city may be something that, you know, it's tragic, but it may be a positive thing for him going forward.
Marcus, I started this segment by acknowledging the fans who were here today that applauded this team after Jeffrey Lurie addressed them. Does Andy Reid kind of get a mulligan going forward, or maybe fans not as harsh? Maybe the Monday quarterbacks lay off a little bit and say, this guy is going through a personal tragedy that we cannot even begin to understand.
There have been been maybe 2 times in his tenure here where he has been lauded as opposed to ridiculed. From the time that he got here, drafted Donovan McNabb, started Doug Peterson. This may heal some of those wounds between him and the fans and him, because there's very seldom an opportunity to be empathetic or sympathetic toward Andy Reid. This is the worst thing that can happen to a parent. This is one of the worst things that can happen to a human being, is to bury a child. I think now Andy becomes even more human, and let's be honest, he's been a little bit more human the last 6 or 7 months. So maybe this, again, this is terrible, but it may help him take a step closer toward humanity and closer toward sort of becoming the kind of person that we kind of want to interact with and the fans want to see.
Joyce, we leave you with this thought. Jeffrey Lurie, the Eagles chairman and CEO, said life throws you curveballs, as Marcus alluded to. He expects Andy to hit that curveball out of the ballpark. We're live with Marcus Hayes of the Daily News. Tom Shredencheck, Fox 29 News.
All right, thank you, Tom, so much tonight. People connected to football are tweeting about Garrett Reid's death. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said, "Our thoughts and prayers are with Andy, Tammy, and their family. We will support them and the Eagles in any way that we can through this difficult time." Eagles legend Harold Carmichael, still in the front office of the Eagles, tweeted, quote, "Our hearts are deeply saddened. Coach, you and your family will be in my family's prayers." And people continue to leave comments about Reid's death on our Facebook page. Kevin wrote, quote, "Sad news. God bless the Reid family and the Eagles organization during this tough time." Tom wrote, quote, "Please God grant the Reid family the strength to cope with this terrible day." And Mary Ann wrote, "God bless the Reid family. No one should have to bury a child. I will keep them in my prayers." And you can share your condolences for the Reid family on our Facebook page. Just click on the Facebook icon on our website, myfoxphilly.com. We also have more coverage on the death of Garrett Reid. Just click on the story on our homepage. Well, tonight, water's being turned back on for dozens of houses affected by a big water main break. It happened at Frankfort Avenue and East Pike Street in Philadelphia's Port Richmond neighborhood. Officials say a 12-inch main broke, leaving 85 homes without water. Crews worked all day to fix it. No word yet on what caused that break. Now, this is the 4th water main break to hit the city in just 2 weeks. Last Sunday, a water main broke in South Philadelphia. That was followed by another break in Northeast Philadelphia. Then on Friday, another water main broke, that one in Kensington. The water department says they have a plan in place to fix all those aging pipes. A bombshell report about alleged sex abuse in the Boy Scouts. The LA Times has reviewed nearly 1,200 files from the national organization, files that until now had been kept private. The investigation found that more than 125 cases across the country in which alleged child molesters continued to abuse in the Boy Scouts. The predators, they say, were apparently able to jump from troop to troop because of clerical errors and lying about their personal information. More on that to come. In the nation's capital today, breastfeeding mothers held a nurse-in, hoping to raise awareness that breastfeeding in public is legal. Fox's John Henrahan reports on this.
Sing and play for you. The entertainment was definitely geared for a younger audience. In fact, many on the West Front lawn of the U.S. Capitol were babies brought there by their parents so they could be openly nursed by their mothers.
I totally support breastfeeding, and I think it's really important that women feel comfortable breastfeeding in public. It's nature's way of feeding your baby if you can.
Organizers and participants agree with the U.S. Surgeon General that breastfeeding is generally healthier than formula feeding. In 2012, most breastfeeding women do not expect to be harassed in public. And frankly, we talked to more than 20 women in this crowd, and the majority of them said they never have been. But it still happens. Jamie Smedstad moved to Virginia Beach from Hawaii only a few days ago and says she was discreetly nursing on a bench in a Virginia Walmart.
And a few people just walked by like they wanted to say something, and they just shook their heads and they were just disgusted and turned their kids away and walked past. And I never felt so uncomfortable.
It happened to Lindsay Silver in a hospital waiting room in Baltimore.
And a nun actually came up to me and told me that I was being completely disrespectful and that I should cover up or leave, to which a security guard came over to my defense and said, "You cannot tell her to do that," which was good. But the nun stood there for another few minutes watching me to make sure that I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Some among the demonstrators want legislation, making it a crime to harass a nursing mother.
I think they're overreacting.
Deborah Schmidt is a tourist visiting Washington from Houston.
I was a mother who breastfed, and I didn't have any issue.
Nobody bugged you in public?
Nobody bugged me. Nope. I didn't expose my breasts in public, but nobody gave me any aggravation. None.
So it goes in Washington, where it's hard to find unanimity on any issue. John Henrahan, Fox 5 News.
A new procedure is helping allergy sufferers breathe a little easier. It's only a handful of hospitals. It's in only a handful of hospitals. Next, we're going to show you how it works and why it's changing patients' lives. And people are making a sweet withdrawal from a new ATM. Where you can find this delicious machine coming up. Summer break is a time for kids to relax and unwind, but all that time hanging out may be too much of a good thing. With only a month or so left until many schools start up again, doctors say children should be reading or doing math games to keep their minds sharp. That will make their transition back to the classroom easier in the fall. A breakthrough procedure done at only a handful of hospitals is helping people with asthma breathe a lot easier. Fox's Tom Johnson, I should say, reports it's helping them reclaim their lives. And here's one man's story.
Richard Volk's asthma was as debilitating as it gets. It controlled his life. He could not work or do much of anything else.
It ruined my life. I had no life. I had no social life. I had no business life. I had no life at all.
Asthmatics like Volk can breathe in just fine, but then their airways constrict, making breathing out nearly impossible.
Asthma attacks, I couldn't catch my breath, couldn't breathe.
Admitted to the hospital 22 times last year, Volk was out of options.
I told my mom at one point I'd rather be dead.
Take a deep breath in as deep as you can and blast it out. Keep going.
Then he heard about a brand new treatment at Orlando Regional Medical Center, a treatment that offers hope of incredible healing to asthmatics who once had no hope. The FDA approved bronchial thermoplasty at the beginning of 2012. Doctors insert a camera down the throat into the airways. Then a small device uses heat to force open and keep open those individual airways. 3 procedures later, and asthmatics can breathe again.
Some of these patients who are severe persistent asthmatics might now be considered mild. Some of them has never had an asthma attack since.
Volk is one of those. He says bronchial thermoplasty gave him back his life.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm not wheezing. I've got more energy. People told me I had color again.
This is a procedure that you can't walk and now you can walk. You can't run and now you're running marathons. You know, you're not working and now you're working. That's amazing.
ORMC is one of only a handful of U.S. hospitals doing bronchial thermoplasty. Richard Volk is just the second patient in Florida to breathe easy because of it. Tom Johnson.
I feel like a human being again.
Fox News.
Well, people are lining up to make a withdrawal from an ATM, but it's not money they're after. Up next, where you can find the delicious new machine that has people's stomachs just growling all over the place. Caitlin, I can hear yours already.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had a chance to eat yet. We've been tracking these storms all afternoon, Joyce, and right on time, they're moving into the city. This is your 10-minute warning, so head inside right now. Severe thunderstorms approaching the Philadelphia area and suburban New Jersey. I will have a full update on the rest of your evening forecast after the break.
Summer weather means severe weather, and Fox 29 Weather Authority's main goal is to make sure you're informed and warned, keeping you safe when it matters the most. Follow Fox 29 Philly on Twitter. Anytime, anywhere. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation now.
Well, a new type of ATM doesn't spit out cash at all. No, instead, something sweeter. This machine is in Chicago. It offers customers a variety of cupcakes. You just need to swipe your debit card. There's already one of these ATMs in Beverly Hills, of course. Shouldn't that be ACM for automatic cupcake machine?
Yeah, instead of ATM, spits out a cupcake. Oh, I don't know though about that. I kind of want them fresh.
Well, I don't know what the sky's spitting out yet, but it didn't look good.
Oh, yeah, it looks very ominous. We've been getting a lot of our viewer pictures coming in. Here's one from Adventure Aquarium looking into Center City as the storm bears down on the area. Lots of good photos. Thank you all for sending them in. Here's that storm about to push through the Philadelphia metro. Severe thunderstorm warnings are posted for Philadelphia County, as well as much of suburban New Jersey. So here is that squall line picking up speed as it pushed across the state of Pennsylvania earlier today, right along I-95, slicing into parts of New Jersey. The worst of the storm is that narrow band of red, some very heavy rain, lightning, although that has decreased dramatically over the past 30 minutes. Back behind it, you see just some regular old rain across portions of the Lehigh Valley. So once the nastiest part of that storm moves through, it'll be just rain for the rest of the night, and the severe weather threat will diminish. But let's zoom in on to the Lehigh Valley. We had reports of fans up at the Pocono Raceway struck by lightning. You got to be very, very careful. We've had numerous stories about lightning strikes over the past couple of weeks. Now, I did say that some of the lightning strikes have decreased over the past 30 minutes, but still there is lightning being flagged as this pushes northeast of Palmyra, New Jersey, into northern and central sections of Jersey. And then the worst of the storm starting to move into central and lower Bucks, Doylestown. You were just in it. It's pushing towards New Hope and then over into Lambertville, just along the Delaware River. Here's a heavier portion of the cell right on the turnpike where it hit 611 in the Willow Grove, Horsham Township area. You're in the worst of the storm right now. That's also going to push east into Lower Bucks, Langhorne, before moving into Jersey, Levittown. All you guys are next on the list. Further off towards our south, this is the Manayunk area. We had some good photos of the storm rolling in through there. That's moving eastward now into Center City, Philadelphia, and pushing into places like Belmar, Glassboro, so into Gloucester and Camden counties next. Severe thunderstorm warnings will be in effect there until 7:30. A wide view before we go to maps shows this is the cold front coming on through, and back behind it, it will just be rain for the rest of tonight. Now, the severe thunderstorm watch is still in effect until 9. It has been extended to cover southern New Jersey, including Atlantic, Ocean, Cape May counties. That's until 9 p.m. It does include the beaches. Where that line is already passed, you guys are in the clear. Berks County up through the Poconos. Also where that line has passed, temperatures have fallen into the low 70s, so that brings some relief from the heat, where we hit 96 here in Philly today, 95, but that's about to drop pretty quickly here as that storm moves by. All right, Fox Futurecast showing storms around through about 8, 9, 10 p.m., and then the heavier rain is only in South Jersey through 10, 11 p.m. Showers will linger much of tonight, heavier batch of showers down at our beaches during the overnight hours, and by tomorrow morning it's just cloudy. Rain lingers down the shore basically all day tomorrow. The rest of us will slowly clear out Monday afternoon into this evening. So severe thunderstorms for the next couple of hours from Philadelphia into Jersey. Heavy rain associated with these storms and some clearing after midnight. Temperatures in the 70s. Tomorrow it's better. We start off with clouds. We gradually become sunny from north to south, turning less humid. 87 for the high. We'll give that an 8. It's looking good, and we get a break from the storms for at least a couple days here. It'll be a lot less humid. Temperatures in the 80s before those storm chances do increase Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, Caitlin.
You're welcome,
and Colleen
Joyce.
Wolf is standing by with more from Lehigh on Garrett Reed's death and more sports.
That's right, Joyce. Well, we're going to have a live report from Lehigh. We'll hear from Marty Morningweg and a live report from Tom Shredencheck. He's been following today's events in Bethlehem, PA. That's next. Heavy hearts at Eagles training camp today. Players gathered on the field this morning for a team prayer after learning Andy Reid's 29-year-old son, Garrett, passed away. Garrett was at Lehigh working with the team's strength and conditioning coaches. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie said Andy Reid was resolute in returning this week, and he asked the team to go forward with training camp. They held their normal morning walkthrough this afternoon, and Marty Morningweg and Juan Castillo are overseeing the team in Reid's absence. Let's head up to Lehigh now, where Tom Shredencheck is streaming live. Tom, it's obviously a much different atmosphere than the first 2 weeks of camp.
No question about it, Colleen. This team has been so focused on football today, the hearts and minds elsewhere. When they came on the field, very sullen, very quiet, but they tried to get back into that football business-as-usual approach, well, as quickly as possible. Offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg, defensive coordinator Juan Castillo, you mentioned they ran the practice, and the more things got on, well, you felt things were getting back to football. It's when you get off the field and start to think more, that's when it really starts to hit you. As you mentioned, Marty Mornhinweg, running the team offensively, talked afterwards about his coach, his friend, and his mentor.
As you know, Andy is a rock, okay? And he's given all of us, this football team, all the coaches, administration, equipment men, trainers, great support for many, many years. And it's just very simple. We're here to support him now.
My favorite moment from practice today, Colleen, is Jeffrey Lurie got done addressing the team, and the team went off into their drills. The fans here gave them a thunderous ovation. They've been very critical of Andy, but they now know that Andy Reid is going to be in for one of the toughest battles of his life. We're live at Lehigh University. Tom Shredenshek, Fox 29 News.
Yes, just an incredibly sad day for the entire Reid family and the organization. Thank you, Tom. Well, Garrett had to deal with some problems in his past. In 2007, he was arrested on drug charges. And at his sentencing hearing, he said this to the judge, and it gives me chills just reading it. He said, quote, "I don't want to die doing drugs. I don't want to be that kid who was the son of the head coach of the Eagles, who was spoiled and on drugs and OD'd and just faded into oblivion." Of course, we'll have more coverage from Lehigh tonight at 10 and on Sports Sunday at 10:30. Phillies playing the D-backs in the series rubber match. Arizona up 3-0 with Eric Kratz at the plate. Trevor Cahill throws a wild one. John Mayberry Jr. scores, and the Phils get on the board. This was a productive at-bat here. Kratz still at the plate, and he drills one to deep left field, an RBI double, and the Phils keep chipping away 3-2. A lot of home runs in this game. Cliff Lee gave up 3 to the D-backs, but Chase Utley added this one for the Phils. A solo shot to right field, his 7th of the year, tying the game at 3. Bottom of the 9th, this one looks like it might go extra innings. Ryan Howard, who went 9 in his previous 47 at-bats, with a chance to win the game.
Here he comes. Line drive, right field, that's going to win the ball game. Pierre goes back to tag, and here he comes. No throw by Upton, and Ryan Howard has come through. An RBI single here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Phillies have won it 5-4.
Well, Howard was due. After the game, Charlie Manuel said they're feeling a little more relaxed.
I'm sure that you look at it that way. Let's just go out and play and see how many games we can win, and see if we can climb back in something. I think, but at the same time, I think there is a little pressure off.
So, they're going to need to win a lot of games to get back in something. But Phillies win today, but still just some really awful, terrible news from Lehigh.
Yeah, you guys will have more on that tonight. That's our news for now at 6. See you tonight at 10. Good night, everybody. American Dad is next.